that we will cover for the World Cup. I missed one Friday, which I'm very sorry about. I'm happy that today George and Werner decided to wait a little bit so I can cover the game. And we will be streaming this second game of the final. First one was between Joe Zimmer and Alexander Schulte, which went UK way, looking at the results. And now we'll look into the decks. We have Werner versus George. Werner will be piloting Tyrell Kingdom of Shadow. Looking at the list, something that I found interesting is there are 2 copies of Nefarious Aquite, although I have no idea how that helps. All-time favorite, Nighttime Marauders. We have Sparrows, Unexpected Guile, all the Jazz. Interesting thing to see is there are 3 copies of the Iron Throne, so looks like Werner is looking heavily into that control game. We have Star Reset and then Fate's Decree. It's something that we are not used to seeing. Then again, it's one of those very impactful cards, I think. I'm a huge fan of it. From the reset side of things, we have Morgulus who carries for Snow and then March. And then the rest is just pure economy. Other thing that looks interesting to me, not that much. There only 1 copy of Mandan and 2 copies of Sir Robert Strong. We've used to seeing them 3 times, but their copies went to in cards like Hagen's Daughter, Castle Guard, Nefarious Aquite, Heart Assassins, and etc. We have Shadow Pretty Diplomats for the control, so this is a little bit more control deck than the usual, and we have 2 copies of Varys. And then from George's side of view, this looks like Wama's list that he posted like a few months ago. Greyjoy Kuhor, where he's running Outwit and then the gates, Outwit with the advisors to the crown, and then 6 other Meisters like Meister Kerwin, 3 times Muren, which he will come very handy in controlling the Iron Throne, or Star Recept, mainly Iron Throne, I believe, and then a single copy of Windermere. The deck runs a lot of high-end, like we have 3 times Beowulf, Euron and Asha. All of them are 7 costers, and this validates in some way the addition of the advisor to the crown, which gives them, and we have Iron Island Shipmonger, which gives them 6 1-costers, so helps a little bit with the setup, knowing you're running into March. That's very key here. And then from the attachments, we have a bodyguard for Sir Dirk that may get in the way of the shadows, like stealing key gold at the moment. Then 3 times Glass Candle, Kings of Southern Rock for the pillage. Single copy of Seized, Master Chain for attachment control. And that's it. Something that's good for the matchup, I think, is that most of George's power will be either on Corpse Lake or someone that has King of Southern Rock, etc. Reset of choice here we have Morgulis. Interesting to see, we have Summons, which is a rare inclusion in most decks this time at this stage of the game, and then Barring and King Pot, which will get in the way of the Kingdom of Shadow shenanigans. So actually the Nefarious Aquite will help with the Barring. Unfortunately, I don't think something will help with the King in the North turn, so that's 1 turn where George can set up and quickly find if the game is somewhere. Yep, and we have a game. I'm joining. And okay, full screen. We are ready. Yep. Always nice to see having spectators at no sites. And let's hope for an amazing game. I think the matchup with what of both sides have teched could go either way. I think, but we'll see. We see two card setup and a card in shadow for Werner. That's a premium setup right there, and George also is with a very good setup as well. Both players will open at the gates, I assume, without much of a thought. Werner needs that 7 location, or he'll go for the what's his face? Yeah, Gates of the Moon. And George going for the economy with Great Hope, restricted of choice, which matches greatly with his insanely high curve and him being able to produce threat after threat for all the resets that are coming. I'll quickly rearrange the pots how we the deck lists how we are used to up till now, and there we go. Okay, now back to it. And looks like so first player quickly look coin toss went into the way of George, and he made Werner going first. Mentioned Great Cow get to the moon, and now looks like Werner economy is set up like a beast. He has more economy than the plots give him at this stage of the game. This one location, as mentioned, that key Gates of the Gods. Finding it so early helps with the Dark Phase Decree and then Sparrow Shenanigans with an Expected Guile. But also, as I mentioned, I don't expect a lot of power to go on the faction card. At some point it will mostly go on the Corpse Lake and the Top of the Rock, or that would be ideal George plan. Scouting Vessel. That allows him to trigger Bolt, Asher, Euron several times. Immediate Shadow Priestess. Kneeling Vic in marshalling. I wonder, let's see how this will change George's plans and Glass Candle. The only master, and he'll get a little bit of insight. And Eye of Ravens. And as mentioned, that very important Corsair Dirk. Curious to see what will name here. So 3 gold is a little bit on the bottom flare. I saw on the low end, but as you see, in great knowledge in the matchup. Bottom flare could prove really pain in the ass to deal with, killing 2 characters on the board. So with just the 3 gold without Iron Bank or anything like that, it's Werner is in a very peculiar situation. And he passed his challenge, so we're expecting military with the Corsair Dirk just to steal that 1 gold and find a body card, I assume, for Vic. Looks like the challenge will be opposed. In Glass Candle hitting the mentioned bottom flare, carding 1. So looks like the Hagen Doctor will eat the claim here. Oh, not even win the challenge actually. This works as well. And then George will not be able to get the insight for his master. I don't expect Werner to let the challenge go, just because of that insight. Oh, looks like he decided not to even do it with the insight. Maybe he was hoping that the challenge will go through. interesting. But as mentioned, Werner didn't try the challenge so. Here we could see a first snow. It will be very painful for the board. From Werner's side, and George could probably go into outwit if he is afraid of that, but that doesn't help versus for snow. His board is not scary at all in any shape or form at the moment. So he went directly into barring, and Werner went into huge economy. There is so much location for turn 1. At the end of turn 1, basically, we have 10 gold on the board, and then 10 more in location for Werner. So 5, 6, 7, 9. But I expect this turn for Werner to just use it to set up a little bit. Let's see how the draw will be. At least now there is information what to play around. We have unexpected guy against Daughter in Shadow that we are aware of, and that will the information will greatly benefit George. And also help a lot with the decision making, because knowing that there is an expected guile changes so much in the matchup. And Master of Chains and Milk of the Poppy. So the milk here is very interesting and very wise decision. With the, as I mentioned earlier, the unexpected guile being in shadows, this could prove and that one Neferes quite marshaled. Looks like he will do the job here. As I was continuing to say, the removing of the shadow keyword here is very important, because the unexpected guile could have returned her to shadow, and she would have been a big pain to deal with, just because there is so much, although there are a lot of attachments that stop her, there are a lot of characters, as we saw in the previous marshalling phase. The moment they are marshaled, she can control them immediately before ability of an action. We see Old Town joining the fray and finding the understand Old Town. We'll see Old Town Marshal naming character. Oh, looks like he named event and actually managed to hit an event. That's a rare condition, considering there are only 6 events in the deck. That was very lucky out of from his side. I don't see if he could have known somewhere. Oh no, from the underside, right? Okay, no, that makes a little bit more sense. So he got 2 cards out of that. And we see Iron Throne nearing, and it will name with 5 cards in shadow, Unexpected Guile. It's probably what I would name. You don't care about the... I don't think you generally care about that 1 card. Hagen's Daughter. So Guile is the engine of the deck, so that's something you should go quite into controlling and knowing it's there. I do think that George decks can handle most of the characters, and his deck is full of big characters. Looks like he decided to name Hagen's daughter. I don't think it makes sense. And blank Terran acquired. Terran acquired blank the pot. Not one time when he is useful. Yeah, I would say a very weird inclusion. But at least that will not make the turn dead for Werner. I wonder if we will just see again a small military challenge, or we will see Victorians swinging in this time as well. Swinging with Vic and the river could help pave the way for intrigue and of power. But looks like he's still deciding on a small challenge. And maybe use Vic for defense. Werner still hasn't used his agenda reduction, so there are a lot of things that could come out of Shadow. Like Old Bone. And with this he'll still be able to stop the challenge. It's very unfortunate. And then have him back safe in Shadows. So as I was saying, I think the correct play for the Aratron is from this point onwards is always walking down the unexpected guile. That will stop all the shenanigans, like this one. And I find that very important in the matchup. Now we have a challenge with Vic and I would say Kerwin for the insight. If George remember, there is an insight here that he should. Yep. Oh, and we have the Orkman River as well. Big power challenge. So the 3 gold actually enough, I think, for the one that removes character from the challenge. Forgot the name. True Diplomat. I think it's Shadow 3. We can check actually. Why am I trying to remember stuff? Yeah, Shadow 3. So there is economy for Shrewd Diplomat, but then he stays on board because there will be no enough economy for the unexpected guile. Oh, but looks like we have Sparrow for that matter, so we have Sparrow, Glass Candle, hitting the unexpected guile, which is good. So here we see that George waited for Werner to set a card on top and used the Glass Candle then. And we see defense for 5, 7. So I don't think that will be enough, unfortunately. Oh no, 8 with the Arbor Marketplace, but Muramura cancelled it. So, and we have the first challenge won for the face and Glass Candle Sacrifice for King of South and Rock, which may or may not bring another power for Vic if he's lucky with the pillage, or he can just ensure it with the scouting vessel, but looks like he didn't do that, and then the second power is safe. And we see Sparrows going back into Shadows safely. And dominant goes to George. Very interesting matchup to begin with, as mentioned. Now, next turn, obvious king plot for George. Although I'm not sure it's a good idea to, or he'll just try to close out with just with that. I wonder why he sacrificed the card to the inside, which not a great place to be. I think that inside was very important, and also the glass candle by itself, and just to control the Old Town Undercity in one way or another. Is there another? Oh, there are 3 times glass candle, so he'll be able to find it without problem and draw when he needs to draw. Most conditions. Not a lot of conditions in the deck. Unexpected Gyro, I think is skill, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Skill. Hashtag. And looks like both players are wondering how to approach here. I do expect to see a reset of some sort from Werner. Although I'm not sure if first snow will be enough just because both masters are duped. But getting rid of the small shields could prove very useful. I do think that George will play Thinking Down here, although maybe a little bit premature, but to possibility, or maybe he's thinking for the outwit. Actually, that's a possibility as well if he is expecting one of the powers. That's the thing with the open list, that all players know all the possibilities, so there is a lot of mind game. Constantly seen through. So yeah, a lot of decisions to be made. Not huge fan that everything for George on the board, but with the idea that there is that one outwit that could help, we could probably play a little bit safer going this white. So we have trade routes into summons, and we see that none of them, none of the key plots was exhausted here, which makes next turns a little bit easier, I would say. Just because you can predict what will happen. We see trade routes giving a whooping 13 gold, nothing to sniff at, and we see that Euron is added to the hand. I don't know how many locations they are impactful, actually none, because you cannot take the Arbor just because it's in play, and then the Iron Throne he already has one. So nothing that could be hit there, but we have Scouting Vessel that will allow him to trigger 3 times. And we see Sparrows brought out of shadows immediately. I mean, every time you can get this card a trigger, you should get the card to trigger. Old Town Undercity to arrange the draw. We see Fate Decree played, so it will name Greyjoy. One of those. Actually, I don't. Who is first? Okay, so he decided to be first, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Fate Decree will stop the Great Halls. Still, there is more than enough economy for George, I think. To marshal 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly 7. Oh, Isle of Ravens and Advisor to the Crown. Hit by the Nighttime Marauders. Oh, of course. Amazing card. I'm curious if George is running them. I don't recall checking, but no, no nighttime marauder there. Looks like not enough space. A few more cards and we will see those guys active with stealth. We see card in shadow, card in shadow. What did the old town find? I missed in the last standing phase, so quickly go back. Character type and we see shadow priestess. So now we know one of the cards in shadow, and the moment you run come to the board, you'll be nailed. Yep, and shadow priestess. I don't. He should have nailed him immediately. And now we see the unexpected, the mimic of the unexpected guile. And forever and ever. I'm curious to now if the unexpected guile or the shadow priestess that makes more sense to be named now, because Euron can swing now, and now he can't. There was the possibility for him to swing. Okay, so let's see how this challenges phase will go. Now George has to be a little bit more careful with the challenges, just because there are a lot of cards in shadow, although there is only one Robert Strong and Mandan. With him being out of cards, both of them could wreak havoc. But with naming the unexpected guile, now at least the bot is locked. Unfortunately, Werner can bring it in marshalling or any other additional phase. It won't be surprised where the guile is, and we see another Pharaohs. And that gate is slowly accumulating power. Unfortunately, there is no We Do Not Soul. Yep, only reason in the deck, so there is no We Do Not Soul to help with the deck. Quickly check how many plots can be hit by the. So we have actually everything, but after this, all the plots aside from first snow can be hit by outlet, because I think it's only March on the plot phase. I went review to it. Yep, plot phase. We see a big power challenge for 6. And you see my third Carwin jumping for the position there. No free power for the opponents. I wonder if this makes the board a little bit. I expect this to go unopposed, unfortunately. Yeah, there is no point in defending. There are no poison coins in the deck, and that character doesn't have the shadow keyword at the moment, so that helps as well. So for you not to worry about this. And look like that was all the challenges. And time for the as mentioned, quite a lot of economy on the side of the Tyrell player. So everything could be working in the shadows, aside from the unexpected guile. So this is the second phase decrease, so there are no more phase decrease. Something that George shouldn't worry about. Currently we have only one in Judgment in 3 times Iron Bank. We'll have it due. So big power challenge, I assume, to some extent. with everyone. So yep, looks like the key here is the pillage, because just getting the pillage over the 10 mark, the 10 cards here, could prove very useful. And also, I think it's time for George to freeze the Undercity. Unfortunately, he's a little bit short on gold. If he was able to use the Great Post, maybe that was a ability. But with this, not much he can do. With his Shrewd Diplomat, that will probably kick. Curious why the Meister. This allows an intrigue challenge, a following intrigue challenge, and then cancel abilities as well. So this is nice strength. So this will be then 9 to 9. And so he'll use the Arbor Marketplace and then make the Meister waste it. Maybe that was the plan. But now more and more will cancel that. Yeah. So the challenge will go through this way. Interesting kind of play. Yep. I would have just kicked Victorian out of the challenge, but looks like he didn't want to take the military then. So maybe Orkmon River was the better solution. So Corsair Dirk for 1 coin, which makes then dominant go to George. Trading for milk, changing it into a bodyguard. And we see, okay, so the 2 copies of Tyrell are out. That one, game one is out of the window, and then we have a second copy of Bottom Flare. So I think those are all of them. Oh no, there is one more. And then the bodyguard. So unfortunately, that's Tyrell. So looks like Iron Bank was used on the Nighttime Marauders to bring Bolton Flare. That will probably hit the Meister. Oh, and this allows him to Indominate actually. So a good sequencing there for Werner after the mishap with the power challenge. And yeah, Corwin was slain by the bottom player. Quite a lot of target on that side. As mentioned earlier, we see unexpected guy brought out in another phase, so it doesn't get walked down. There is the possibility for offensive power here, although I think it's a terrible idea. But there is that one possibility, so I wonder why old blue bone was brought out of shadow. Is the Undercity that important to trigger? I mean, he should already have the card that he wants on top, then playing Old Town to get that card and then trigger Undercity for the next one. I mean, at least that's what I think the sequence should look like. I think there should have been a Old Town trigger in between somewhere. You know Old Town trigger. So, oh, but he wouldn't have then had the economy because of the station phase. And now in taxation to find the card that he wants, which will be Red one straight. Okay. Nothing that impactful, honestly. As mentioned, I think the offensive hour idea is terrible here, but just because the Orkmond Rivers are online now, which is a huge boon, so I'm expecting George to play outwit here without a second of a doubt. But then I don't expect to see first snow after the unexpected guy being put on the Sparrows, just because this is 9 cards that will go to hand. So definitely not unexpected guy. Definitely not first snow here. The whole board is going back to hand, which will be a huge problem, I think. And then in an inappropriate timing. But I do think that George has to outwit definitely here. His board is so crucial for him, very important at this time. Regarding Quattro Z hits, he's either a little bit safe or very unsafe. So he definitely has to have that into consideration. Interesting. There is definitely the possibility for the draw. Unfortunately, there is actually almost no draw outside of the glass candles that give insight to the Meisters. Yep. So, as mentioned, I don't think George had any possibility to play anything else. So we'll have the Harris that will be cancelled. Oh, actually can be cancelled. This needs a faction new. Okay, so smart Billbone. I forget that this wants a faction new. So well played from Werner's side. Yep, we missed that one. At least I missed it. No one in chat decided to correct me on it. Polling bullshit here. And New York faction card in a unique master. Okay, so looks like we have a game here. Now the question comes: what does Werner keep for the from his side of the board? I do think that we see bottom flares, Sparrows, Billbone, and Shadow Priestess. So bottom flare, this Sparrows, old Billbone, what was it? And one of the Shadow Priestess. Okay, so we see Vic of Mono River, yep, that makes sense. The card will go to hand during the discard pile. First player, looks like Werner will be the aggressor. And that bottom flare will definitely do work now. And we see continuing the shadow shenanigans. This will name one. Hit everything, including the seed by the guard. That's a huge hit. And one of the master chains. These guys are beasts. Completely insane in all the matchups. We see red wines marshaled, more monies, and the Iron Throne hitting finally, now that he's free of the reign of Master Murenmur. Curious to see what's the last card in George hand now. For gold is just enough for a few cards in shadow, namely the unexpected guy. One of them is on the board. We know one is discarded. In the 4 gold range we have actually only Mandon, I think, and then Shrewd Diplomat, Scepter. Interesting if there were other options for George than the outwit. If you remember the faction, you looks like he missed it the way I did. It's not something that at least I'm used to playing with. It's a very hating, but job well done on Werner's side for. Okay, so looks like George is having connection issues. We have a lot of UK guys watching. Actually, not much to talk about. I think now that Werner is a little bit ahead. Just looking at the matchup, although most of the power is safe on Vic, there is no doubt about it that the bottom flare will eventually get to him, and then he'll probably get marched. Or Morgulis, although he cannot be Morgulis with so much power on him. Let's hope George gets back quickly. Once again, we see the strength of those guys. I'm Marauders. Ugh. People lives miserable on daily basis. I wonder if this is Asha. Would be very interesting if this is Asha in the hand. That's probably the card that he most currently needs now the most. More people disconnecting. Yep, Werner, you're still here. That would be very unfortunate. And looks like George is back. I wonder if we have less people into the games, will that help? And then for the future games, I'll just ask the players to give me password only to me. Okay, he's back. I'm all of us are happy, definitely happy that the game will continue. It's no way for something in this case to be played like that. Or just then have to decide based on the situation. George, in your defense, I don't think a lot of people would have missed that. So looks like there is a big one there. Okay, yeah, why not another week? We see Iron Throne nailed, which will probably be bodyguard. Yep. So we won't see bodyguard brought out into play. And this will probably name Shrewd Diplomat or Unexpected Guile. There is still work to naming Unexpected Guile because all of this will go to Shadows then. And we don't want that to happen. I'm pretty sure George doesn't want that to happen. Why George? Oh, I do think the Unexpected Guile is more correct here. I know that these sparrows will hide, but then everything else will not hide. You don't want the Nighttime Marauder to be gone again from the board. Also, I mean, Euron is not bad, but if you wanted to receive a card now, I think you would have much more preferred Asha, as she could pull him out of the game, and with Euron currently we will not be able to do that much. So yeah, as I was saying, Unexpected Guile, I think was the correct choice here. I don't think George cares at all for the power. For the Hagen's daughter. I wonder if it will be. I mean, just Sparrow. He cannot just poke. Yeah. He cannot just poke with the Sparrows. If he wants to dedicate to that, he has to win it, and I don't think there is enough strength currently. 4, 7, 10. Quite a lot more than 10, so he'll try to just abuse it in a few different ways. Unfortunately, I think this military challenge has to be defended at all cost. Just because you cannot allow March next turn, just because the bottom player will get to the one of these two characters definitely, and then you don't have to get the one of your big guys marched. That's not a position you want to be in. But let's see how much military is George willing to sacrifice here. So looks like Euron is defending. Trigger. I expect to see a scouting vessel trigger now. Yep. So we see Star Recept, Arbor Marketplace. That's a great hit. And then power, only one. Wait, what this needs? Attachment to location. So we see. Okay, so Hand Judgment, Iron Throne, and Shadow Priestess were discarded, and he took the Arbor Market that was discarded last turn, and the Star Recept. Now there is one more threat for power at the side of George. He has to be very careful with the. I mean, now there is now the intricate play at giving power to these guys but dropping the unaffected guy, because if George gets the Star Recept, at least one power, he could then be able to blank something with the shadow keyword where the unaffected guy is, and just ruin the day of that. Looks like it's still not time for power challenge. Again, there is a lot more strength on the board than it looks like, or maybe he doesn't want to dedicate that much strength. And then we have this now, although it compensates with the other one, but still. It's something that you don't want to do it. I'm very happy that we have a very interesting match and not just a blue. So looks like a power challenge for just 7. And I do wonder if George will try to top that one as well. Was there a limit to King of Southern Rock? No? Okay. Again, there is enough economy for all kind of shenanigans, although we do know one of the cards is Hagen's Daughter. I wonder what the rest could be. What is the last one? One of the shrewd diplomats got at the bottom of the deck, sent at the bottom of the deck. Last bottom player is on the board. And looks like George just decided to let the challenge go. But this will, now this allows a lot of shenanigans with the unexpected guile. That's something that you do not want to see. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end. But yeah, what do we know? Although this leads to me to the impression that George will just do a power challenge and nothing else. Don't worry about the rest. He doesn't want to get any unopposed power on his faction card, more than he needs to. Unopposed intrigue. There is no that one attachment weapon thingy, so no need to worry about that one as well. That returns character to the hand, forgot the name, sorry. But yeah, now this will hide all the characters. Very questionable in my mind. We will see George discard a little bit more cards now. Although I do expect to see Morgulis, just to get rid of all the chaff now, with the bodyguard being blocked. And unfortunately he won't be able to hide the old Billbone. But we'll definitely see a power challenge. I do expect to see only a power challenge. Okay, looks like a chump military challenge with stealth. Okay, so he can win it on a fall, so that makes sense. Hagen's Daughter cannot come out. Something with military icon in shadows. From what we know, no. So Yeah, looks like George is looking to kill old Billbone, so he doesn't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. Quickly checking. Should diplomat was how much strength? 3 strength. Okay, so I didn't mistake in my mind. We see unopposed challenge, that precious power going on the faction card, which means more power for Werner, to be honest. It looks like the Marauders bought the dust. Interesting choice. He was we see Knight of Swords, although a singleton, one of the closers in the deck. How many cheap come out of Shadow effect there are. And a big power challenge, stealthing again. And I wonder if we'll see a Shrewd Diplomat now getting a little bit in the way. Okay, the Sparrows will get in the way. Oh, still that power, hide again. With the unexpected guile. Star Recept. Unfortunately, no window to use the Star Recept here, which would have been very nice. But at least we'll see Cossar Dirk. Intimidate. And then you see Glass Candle trigger, I assume. Discard the card. And that is Varys. Oof. Oof. And I think now it's time to start returning the attachments to the deck. So looks like Bodyguard was moved to the deck. And one of the rivers killed. And Old Town. Actually, after the taxation. I'm curious why we haven't. There should be. So what we have? Card Assassin, another Marauders and Red One trade. So what's so important in the hand that Marauders hit the discard pile. Okay, so we are 12 to 6, a lot of power on the board. I think that this turn we will see Murgulis and George will be 3 power behind, just because the power here will be. So we see, yep, Murgulis in the north. So 1 power and 2 more from here. And we are back 9 to 10. Quite a lot of power on the faction card, unfortunately, so Werner will be able to get to it. First player, George decided to be first. I wonder if he'll be able to find a. So this is the last player, so maybe, and no flame, so he'll be able to. Grateful. Ooh, spicy. Any Billbone. We know there is a Shadow Priestess in Shadow. That would be a pain. And Kneeling Kasha. Oh, but he cannot trigger because there is no king. So maybe we can see a close or him getting George getting back into the game with the Asha. So 9. a unopposed, 10 power, 11 renown, 12 2 pillages, 13. Unfortunately, this time this round Werner should definitely just focus on the defense, and the cards will come out of shadow without any of their precious triggers to hold down the board. Is this guy a war? No, he doesn't like that. So unfortunately, also with the nature of the deck, so I wonder if George will go for all the challenges. This will block, I assume, a power icon of some sort. Against daughter. Just because she can be in 2 challenges? I mean, no, but that's only if you do the military first. With the 9 gold, no reduction used currently, so I wonder if he can muster that much strength. I think George can quote now with a little bit of luck with the pillages. I'm not sure he needs all the unopposed in that case then, because the power challenge is 1 to 3 power, and with 2 pillages would just hit 5, but looks like the Shadow Priestess will definitely defend here. Arbor giving strength. Remove 1 card at random. Unexpected Guile. Again, why not Unexpected Guile as a naming George? I think that's probably the most important. Oh, and yeah, the Star Recept. Looks like that was the plan. As I mentioned earlier, we see Iron Bank discarded at random. So a glass candle, discard the Robert Strong. Come on. I'm using periods. Unfortunately, no Corpse Lake. If we had the Corpse Lake up to now, I think it would have been game long ago. A military challenge. Asha. Tilting. Ooh. Oh. Wait, wasn't there only 1 copy of this guy in the deck? Oh, it was the other way around. Okay. Rexer Robot will block the challenge. Five, and then the power challenge, which is there is a Sparrows in Shadow to be able to pull that one as well. Unfortunately, no pillage trigger for Russia. So, yeah, I think George, for him to be able to call, should have went with all of them. Well, with both characters for the power set power challenge. It's good that he managed to pull the Iron Paint from hand, although this is the first one or the second one we're seeing. Oh yeah, he played it on a Marauders on those turns. So, and we see the third bank, and now there will be a lot of power icons coming out, I assume. 5 is not that much, so Root Diplomat, oh, yes, Ogart is 3, and then a Root Diplomat or something along those lines. Looks like he doesn't want to dedicate more than this. You see, star reset power 10 flame. You see, glass candle change to bodyguard. Unasha that saves her for power for the arbor, and then he's at 12. And then renown. Dominance will go to Werner by the looks of it. Although they are currently still from him, so although I don't think he can do much with the 0 claim that he currently has. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to expose the what's their face far off on the board. So next spots for Werner we have first snow of winter and March. Not a great choice option for regarding both of them, just because the old Bilbo is on the board. And for George we have Rationing and Morgulis. I think you go into Rationing and just try to close, so that's at least we know his way of approach. Rationing is 5 initiative and can so first snow is again at 5, so only option for Werner is to match initiative and try go first and accomplish something. If there is that option, because then the or just go march and be definitely first, but then you're losing a character on the board, which I don't think you want to do that. Then with both pots you're winning initiative. Looks like he went with the definitive choice of winning initiative, and we see March. So Castleguard and Old Bibon will be March. This gives 1 more gold, but I don't think that will be that much impactful. Unfortunately, all banks are used. So no event shenanigans currently. 1 unexpected guy is discarded. 2 are discarded actually. Interesting to see the Shrewd Diplomat being discarded as well. I would have thought that it's a very important for this stage of the game to control that power challenge. So we have them. So we see Sparrows, and then hitting, triggering Old Town, moving 12 Old Town, Undercity, and then Old Town trigger to draw the card. No, Old Town first. Or looks like you tried in another phase. I think this should have been triggered now. Just to draw that extra card without further shadow triggers. Or maybe you don't want to give the information to George, but I don't think it matters at this stage. So in marshalling we see B1, yep, the bigger vendor. Here is dude that's left in the deck. Although there is that Grand Good Brother that has also renown and quite beefy. Yep, and it was really close game and very. Oh, is this the second Sparrows? The third one? Is there one that bought the dust? Nope. Old Town Undercity. Old Town. Okay. Oh no! Oh well. Bullshit on steroids. Unfortunately, I don't think George had any way to play around. Oh, 3 sparrows? That's not something that you would have wanted to see. Interview? Advise him. Okay, so he was a dead draw for him. Can do. So, I don't think the third sparrow mattered just because there was a castle guard that he found. It had more than enough economy. Werner? Wait. I just wanna mess up the name. Yeah, it's just Werner. Okay. So with this it's 1-1. I'll just jump to the same channel for George.
Hello.
Hello. George?
Just give me a second. I'm just going to fix my my voice a little bit.
Okay. I hear you loud and clear, so I assume the stream hears you as well. And we're just waiting for Werner to... Okay, so all of us are here. Werner decided to mute himself. Are we all here?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Excellent.
I'm just waiting for George to fix his sound as well. And amazing game, guys. Amazing game, both of you.
Thanks.
So, actually, I want to thank you both of you that you can hear me. Thanks for waiting. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a good decision looking at the game.
Right, I think I'm back.
Okay. So congratulations both of you. Thanks again for waiting. What was the key turn in the game?
Interesting. I mean, obviously, from my point of view, I'm inclined to think ballsing up the outwit was pretty big, although I don't know what I would have done differently.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of expecting you then to play maybe King in the North, but yeah, not sure what would have been the better
Yeah,
play.
I was hoping to get a clearer board when the king plot went off. So I was hoping to valor away things like the sparrows first,
Okay.
just so it had as few things as possible to oppose, even when you couldn't bring things out. I just wanted to have a few bodies out there.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Probably would have flipped
so-
rationing if it wasn't for outwit.
Okay, most broken card in the game.
Sorry, say again.
What's the most broken card in the matchup?
Oh,
Well, I mean, Sparrows is a real pain in the ass, but Guile is probably the real problem.
Yeah,
yes. And I guess what I didn't have in mind was Stericept blanking my priest, so Guile falls off. I guess this really
I
makes
mean,
sense.
I was worried you had the other Guile at that point, but I figured I had to try it. It was
I mean, lucky that you found Euron a little bit late, so I think that the recept would have proved very key for that matchup just because of that factor. For the records, for the stream, I also missed the out with head faction new. I completely forgot about that as well. We are not used to seeing a lot of faction new control, so
very
Yeah.
clever, and
Yeah.
I completely missed it.
other than that, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think there was a lot of play around the 3 sparrows at the end.
I don't know whether I could have possibly tried to stop that beforehand or something. I mean, I could have obviously hit the share just to say no in marshalling, but I guess losing Ankers anyway.
Yes, just because they're there, and he did found a Castle Guard that would have just triggered one of the existing sparrows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go quick. I knew going in I had to just get the win before the Sparrows engine just got going. So it was quite frustrating not to see the corpse like.
Yes.
Obviously, I was so much power on that Gate of the Gods. Like I was generating enough to win the match, but
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure, George, if you did some testing, but I did, and for me, I think it is key that you don't get both the crown and corpse leg. So if you get both, you can get too fast, and I guess then it's really hard for me to win this because
it's all
then
about the relative speed.
Sorry.
I think it's all about the relative speed. Like if I can gain power quicker than you can move one every turn, it's probably okay.
Yeah, especially since I can't steal power from your characters or locations. So if you have like 12 power on those and none on your
8.
house card, I can do nothing with sparrows.
Yeah.
I think that might make the case for round 1 being the most important turn of the game. The priestess on Victarion really slowed me down. From my testing, I was coming into the match thinking I needed to try to wrap it up by the end of round 3, and you can usually expect a fairly reliable 4 or 5 power lead by the end of round 1, but that completely shut that down, and then I had to bet in for the long game, which is not good.
Yes, agreed. So yeah, I guess this was key for me. You not getting corpse leg. Yes, losing the Starry Sept, so drawing it not myself, and you having it was unfortunate.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I was very happy to have the Acolyte during your bowing turn. This was really important for me.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty big.
Yeah. What made you decide to actually add them? I mean, they're probably dead in most of other matchups.
So why he's in the deck?
Yeah, and 2 of, to be honest. I mean, I find it strange.
So 2 points here. So I guess 2 is more of a personal preference. So I don't like to have one-offs of cards I want to see in certain spots. So it's 2. With the Undercity, I guess I can relatively can make sure to have him most of the time when I need him. And barring the gates, in my opinion, is the most prevalent counterplot to Shadows, because it's also very good against Targaryen or even sometimes Lannister if you face them,
Night's Watch.
or other factions. And the combination of having a lot of gold plus being able to get back the gold with Iron Bank, yeah, makes it that you very often encounter Barring the Gates.
Okay. I mean,
You were coming into that barring turn with about 19 gold anyway, so like, the extra expense to make sure everything else worked was not a problem.
Yeah, if I time it with trading, and then okay, it's 4 gold to blank your plot, fine. And in worst case, I have claim soak if I can't return into hand and turn him into gold.
fair.
Yeah, I wasn't too convinced of him when I started playing him, but yeah, now I'm quite convinced. It makes sense in the deck.
Any final words, both of you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with matchup. I felt like it was slightly favouring Greyjoy going in, but ultimately I think it's. I do think I got outplayed in the game, so I'm not too unhappy, and means I'm looking forward to the rest of this match because 1-1 going into the last 7 games is more interesting than 2-0. So,
Yeah.
So
okay.
Thanks, George. Yeah, I think it's I guess I agree with you. So it's around 50%, maybe a few percent, one or the other direction. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, never. So that's why I was very happy. It was a close game and not one running away with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to have won it, and thanks again.
Okay.
likewise.